Thanks for the raid, man. I appreciate it. You have the joystick working? Yep. Yeah. Stream 3D works just fine, dude. I hope that they don't have to rebuild it several times until the landing procedure works out. My guess is, Finn, before they risk landing back on the pad, they're probably going to do a lot of testing. And they're probably going to do a lot of landing, expending as super heavy boosters out in the water. Either that, or they're going to do something like Grasshopper. Grasshopper was the Falcon 9 hover test article, and it had fixed landing legs on it. So it had just dedicated landing legs on the side, and all that thing was designed to do is go up and go down. I'm expecting SpaceX to adopt a similar testing regime with that thing. Yeah. They'll probably have a super heavy with some fixed landing legs on the side, kind of like Starhopper or something. And keep in mind, this is just me. I don't know. This is just me speculating. They'll probably do something like that, and then you'll probably see... They'll probably use that one for testing, and then you'll probably see one with no landing legs get expended out in the ocean. We know that's what they want to do on the orbital flight. And then my guess is that after they get some good data on Super Heavy, they'll try to catch one. I wonder how many operators you train to run something like that. Do your operators come with a rental of the crane, or do SpaceX provide their own? Sorry for re-asking. Some of it's in-house, some of it's contracted. Nah, NSF says now straight to orbit. Yeah, Liam, you didn't listen to what I had to say, but that's fine. Dude, the one that they're doing right now, you gotta keep in mind, they're gonna dump that one into the water. We know that, all right? We know that that's what they're going to do. It's gonna go into the water. Here, let me time warp. They're gonna dump it into the water, and Super Heavy is not the thing that they're going to be testing here a lot. This is testing Ascent, which should be okay. But that orbital flight test is more testing Starship's heat shield. They're testing the heat shield for Starship. So it's not like Artemis 1, for instance. That's not what's going on here. This is a bare bones Super Heavy and a bare bones Starship, just enough to be able to test the flappy wings and the thermal protection system during re-entry. That does not mean that we won't see other test article boosters with Super Heavy, because I honestly don't think that SpaceX will risk the pad on the first try, Liam. That makes no sense. So either they'll get a lot of landing data with expending these things out in the ocean, or they'll have some other type of test article to specifically test Super Heavy landing. And my guess is that you're probably going to see something like Grasshopper, but what do I know, dude? I don't know. All right, so let's go take a look at the pad. Actually, I got to go check on the space station here. I know, Finn, isn't it nuts, dude? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Yeah, Phil, they'll probably get some hover test data from that, for sure. Absolutely. These guys are doing all right. You're a very dedicated streamer with great content. Thank you. Equally used star. Thank you. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, but I do appreciate it. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you very much. I'm trying. I'm trying as hard as I can. All right, so We had a test flight happen yesterday. It went okay. I mean, it wasn't the worst. The first flight performed all right. It went up in the air and it did okay. I've never flown one of those things before, and nobody has, so it kind of
Discovery, go at throttle up.
kind of didn't land it, I guess, to say, if I want to be clear. Because I hadn't flown it, I shorted the runway because long story short, I shorted the runway and we crashed short of the runway over there because I wasn't used to how the vehicle was flying, and the reason why is because our ascent had a little bit of problems. We had a little bit of issues with the ascent regime. Hey, username, thanks for the bits. Thanks, guys. I appreciate all the support. I had a little bit of a problem during ascent getting my center of mass and center of lift, or center of mass and center of thrust lined up. Who knew? An asymmetric vehicle with wings on one side, might have some weird mass balance issues. We're gonna iron those out today, guys, and I am going for another test flight. Yeah, that's happening. The crane, though, had some issues. What are the 4 pipes below left and right of the green thing in the periscope? Test flight is great, but will it blend? Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure those are reaction control system thrusters. Coley, that's the RCS. Oh, man. Can we take off that one part? No, what I'll do to get the crane got misaligned during launch operations yesterday. Sometimes it pops out, it happens. What I'll do is just move it over here. Lebless will use her head here. Don't skip leg day or face day. Gotta stretch those facial muscles. Yeah, Tars, that should fix it. This panel, which I'm using as a guide, it needs to be on the inside of this. That's all. Crane on, apply directly to the forehead. Crane on, Garth. Crane on, Wayne. Yes, Gledless is pushing around this 200-ton gantry crane. Just thought I'd let you know. She's using her cranium. Dolly, they didn't like it. Bad? I didn't say it. Chat did. let's try pushing her back into alignment. Let's see. Not looking at the new suit. I don't have time. We'll do that tomorrow. So I'll be honest with you. And no, we're not gonna. I'm not gonna save the test flights for later. We're doing them tonight. I'm tired. I've been up since 6 in the morning. Yeah. But I'll keep going. How come you don't build rockets in the hangar? I like the challenge of doing it out here, Frank. That's all. Challenge mode, man. When you get to as many hours as I have in KSP, yeah. Gotta find ways to keep yourself... Gotta find ways to challenge yourself, you know? The crane doesn't seem to want to move. It's like it's stuck on something, but it's not. So, yeah, we're stuck somewhere. What are we stuck on? My mouse is stuck on the freaking arrow UI. That's strange. Crane don't care. Crane does what it want. Here, I'll set the friction control on these wheels to low. That'll essentially make the wheels kind of act like they're on ice. And that should make it a little bit easier to move. Have the bugs with the pad been worked out? I wouldn't say they're worked out, but they're definitely... I might just recover it, guys. Just recover the freaking pad and start over. Just because of the deadlines, I take a little funding hit because every time I recover this, because you're not recovering it here, you get like a 98% on return. So consider it maintenance costs. I'll recover everything here and we'll do it again. I don't feel like sitting there and fixing it. I could sit there and we could push it with the truck and shim it back into place. And on any other occasion, I would do that. But we do have that deadline, man. So we got to get this done. And it sucks because that means I have to refuel the pad, but it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. Can't even fathom how to build a rocket outside of the hangar. Yeah, Frank, it takes a lot of time. A lot of time, a lot of effort put forth. But it's fun, man. I really, really enjoy it. Okay. Let me make sure that I upgraded, that I updated everything. So the LV5 plate adapter, we needed to upgrade that and put heat shields on it, which I did. Did I leave myself anything to do here? This needs heat shields, you doofus, okay? Oh, piss off, past EJ. I just did that. Thanks. Thanks, man. Shut up, past EJ, you jerk. Alright, well I already had heat shields on it, so that should help us with dealing with thermal, because this flame trench that I designed to be able to handle the heat, yeah, that didn't do that. So that was one of the things we had to fix, and then I had to fix the panels as well. The panels weren't in the right spot, so just to get rid of that weird Z fighting, I'm just gonna tug on that real quick. There we go. All right. Okay, so the plate adapter is good to go. And now let's go up to the prototype. Proto 8 is where we're still working. And this is serial number 3, which is a more updated version of it. I know I left myself notes here, and I have to figure out what the notes say. But before I do that, guys, I just got to take a quick pee break, if you don't mind. But yeah, here's what we flew last night. It flew, and I'll tell you, during that test flight, everything that I commanded this thing to do, pitch up, pitch down, yaw left, yaw right, roll right, everything I told the thing to do worked. Flew great. But I don't think it was a good enough test. I mean, one, because I crashed it. I don't think it was a good enough test to really get a fundamental understanding of how the vehicle performs. So we're going to do another one, and it's basically going to be 10-kilometer suborbital flight. That's what I'm aiming for. The other thing I think I need to figure out, and I didn't leave any notes, lovely. The other thing that I need to figure out is to make sure that my center of mass and center of thrust are lined up. So I'm just going to check that, but I'll do that when I get back real quick, guys. Just got to use the restroom. Yeah, Jonas, keep in mind, it's meant to make drag. That's what I want it to do. This thing, it might make a little too much. We might be making too much drag out the back, but that's something we'll have to test. And what I want to do is be able to fly the thing a little bit higher, so I have more time up controlling the thing, so I can hit F12 and pause it and kind of look at what it's doing and look at where it's generating drag and stuff. That's the important thing to understand. I might just have F12 enabled for this entire test. At least I'll pretty much put F12 up when we start flying the thing. So yeah, I've also added a speed brake so we can pitch the nose up if we need to. But yeah, once again, I've just got to use the restroom real quick, and on the other side of my P brake, we'll start assembling this pad. It was a suborbital flight, S-Master. How much fuel did you put in it yesterday? Just one fuel truck's worth, which is about a tank and a half of the Rocco Max 64. I'll be back in a moment. I'm gonna need more of this. now that I have my coffee, I'm ready to watch radar. Alright, let's do this. So, let's get that center of mass and center of thrust stuff figured out here. So, I noticed from the test last night when I went to launch the vehicle that my rocket engines were tilted on the way up, meaning it was flying stably. Oops, sorry. It was flying stable, but we're getting a little bit of a cosine loss on thrust, meaning that in order to get the thing to fly straight up, the rocket engines were turned like this. And that comes from your center of mass and center of thrust not being directly aligned. Okay? So, what I'm going to do here with number 3 here is we're going to go and I'm going to make sure this is all lined up. And I did that by plotting points using the flags that Predominant gave me that have checkerboards on it. These plot out the points of the dry center of mass. So, dry COM is where the vehicle center of mass is with no fuel in it. And wet COM, or initial mass, over here, is where the center of mass is with fuel in it. And if you notice, that one's a little bit higher. So the center of mass does shift downward and back during flight operations. Weren't you going to change the control system? Jay, that's the other thing. Yeah, I gotta make sure that my probe core is aligned with my engines. If your probe core isn't aligned with the center of thrust, right? If my center of thrust was up here and my probe core was here, if I went to yaw and I commanded the engines to both turn this way, right? And they were below the center of mass, right? Or the control point, yawing will actually give you roll. It makes for a really finicky control system. You don't want that. So what I have to do is I have to ideally make sure that the control system is, for the most part, aligned with the center of mass here. And it is, for the most part. Yeah, that should be fine. And then I have to make sure that these guys are going through the center of mass as well. We can do that by moving our center of thrust forward and just... So the engines are more suited for a wet COM, which is... Yeah, that's something we should probably change. See, even with the full tank of gas, the engines are still a little bit too high. But also, I don't really want them to be here either, because now they're too low. We need to have them not be in either one of those positions. I gotta move these down a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll gizmo the engines in here to get my center of thrust indicator where I need to see, right? Just aim for that to be right around there, believe it or not. I'm trying to have my center of thrust be halfway in between dry and wet center of mass, meaning that the engines will be a little bit tilted when we take off from the pad, and they'll be a little bit tilted. They'll be straight about halfway through the ascent, right? And they will be they'll be tilted in a different direction, in the opposite direction, later during the ascent. But this is all something that the shuttle engine should be able to compensate for. It's really not that big of a deal. The thing that we have to do now is I have to make sure that this is aligned with that, the probe core. See how it's not aligned? That'll give us some weird kind of control going on there. I need this to be basically right there. And then I gotta move that back into position, just like that. This is my avionics bay. The probe core and the control system is in there. So yeah, that should be good. And now we'll move the engines back into position. Make sure this is all buttoned up. Good, good, good. I'll just keep those flags on there. They aren't going to cause any fuss. Let's make sure this thing has no fuel in it. Okay, she's looking good. I mean, the part count on this thing is getting a little bit on the higher side, but it's alright. Some of these parts that I have on here, like these extra docking ports and whatnot, are there because it's a test thing, test article. So let me go in here like this, and let me get the transporter. Let's merge that file here, right? And then the first thing I'll do is take this thing's bracket off, right? This is the bracket that I use to pick this thing up with the crane. Okay, we'll install the towing bracket here and then take the truck and install it on the bottom bracket there. And the other thing that I kind of had problems with is when I went to raise the thing, it didn't work. I basically just pulled it right out of the bracket here. So, what problems were uncovered yesterday? A couple of things here and there, Addy. I literally just went over what I needed to change and fix. So, yeah, just scrub back in the VOD like 2 minutes at best. I went over kind of the stuff that I needed to fix. Floor struts, yes. Alright, so now we should be good. And then another thing that I noticed is that these wheels are not on the ground. But they are in here, but they weren't touching the ground before, which is weird. So you know what? I'm just going to get rid of those center wheels. We know that these outer wheels do work, but the outer wheels were too wide to be able to fit underneath the pads. So we needed to put them in. I think it was there. I'm not sure exactly though. Let me see. Let me take the keeper, move the keeper into position. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's right. I mean, it kind of is over where the I-beam would be, but all right, let's do this. So take that. So that's ready to go. The prototype's ready to go. Didn't you have to move the back wheels of the truck in a bit too? Yeah, Jay, I just did that. Adjust the panels on the adapter plate that were getting in the way of docking. Oh, that's already done, Hip. I already did that. So yeah, we're good on that. We're good on that front. Let's fly this fat, big, beautiful plane thing. All right, I gotta put the pad together, dudes, and then we're going. Put that over there. Save. Switch back over here. Load up. I need to load up the adapter bracket. Plate adapter. This is the updated version. Switch this over to the VAB. Take the plate adapter. Move that into the same spot over here. That way I can put it out and it won't disrupt the pad at all. I don't want to put stuff up here and then drive it off. It's a big pain in the butt. We don't need to do that.
Discovery,
So,
no
hey, Pop, 20-month resub. Thank you. So, now what we're going to do is load up pad 1A revision 8 here. And then one thing that I wanted to do to this launch pad is extend the I-beams just a little bit more. We'll switch over to the SPH and I'll do it over there. I want to keep this in the position because this plops the thing down next to the it plops it down next to the main launch pad, which is really easy. Like, I don't have to worry about it being on the actual freaking pad here. So now let me take this, right? Like, I want to keep its position. The position stays persistent. All right. Okay, cool. Save that. And I think we're good. All right, flip this back over here. And now let's put this thing out. Drag chute for landing. I think it makes too much drag, Papa Bear. I'm not sure we're gonna need it. That's the one thing that's why I wanted to just redo the test from last night. Get the thing up to 10 kilometers and fly it around to see how it handles. Like, there's no doubt that whatever I do when it gets up there, I'll be able to at least steer it near the runway. I'm confident in the control systems on the vehicle. I just really need to see how much drag the thing actually makes. For the bigger one, yeah, I mean, a drag chute might not be the worst idea. Ooh, this is too far to the left. It needs to be lined up with that. Hang on, I'm gonna recover it real quick. Yeah, Rocket Guy, everything that I commanded the thing to do, worked. Everything that I commanded it to do worked. If I told it to pitch up, it pitched up. If I told it to roll, it rolled. If I told it to pitch down, it pitched down. It did everything I told it to do and actually did more because I pulled the body flap trying to get the nose up, right, to flare to land on the beach, and I actually pulled it too far and I tail struck the ground, and that's why I lost prototype 2. Should have commanded it to land. Thanks. The hinges are already freed, Toma. I already got it under control. Joshy, hey, optimal landing speed at flaring is around 100 meters a second. It depends on the vehicle, dude. That would be ideal for this one. Joshy, I'm not going to lie. Oh, I moved it a little too far. But that's okay. This is fine. This will work. Let me make sure the pad's naming convention is configured. LC1A pad configured to lander. All right, cool. Let's. Oh, sorry guys. I have to do it again. I have to see where it is in the VAB to line the stupid thing up. Thing stall speed looked like 45 meters a second. Rocket Guy, I was wondering about that, dude. With all those panels, the thing flew better than I thought it would. And the reason why I stalled it, and the reason why we didn't have enough to get back, was because my ascent profile basically took me too far out to sea. What I ideally want to do with this one, with the flight regime, is fly up to 10 kilometers, right? Fly up to 10 kilometers and then pitch due north, and then fly out to sea this way and not that way, so I can flare around and land on the runway. That's what I'm trying to do. Thanks, drummer. The first test flight was last night, funny man, but don't worry. It'll be probably about 30 minutes, and we got another one lined up, and then another one after that. there. The center of the vehicle's lined up with H8 right there. I just need that because when I go to put the crane out, I need to make sure the crane falls into the rails. I don't want to derail my crane. Sweet, did the first flight go well? It went okay. It exposed a couple of issues with my engineering, funny man. We buttoned some things up. I did lose the prototype. I lost 2, which sucks, but it is what it is. It wasn't the worst result, though. I got it to get off the pad. The thing separated from the pad great. Everything was good in that regard. So, yeah, and we did get the engines back. That's what matters. Yeah, so I, even though I lost the vehicle, I got about a little bit over half of its cost back. So, about as good as you can have for a partial failure, What you need to do is hold level flight until it stalls at 10 kilometers. Why would I do that? What's that going to teach me? I'm actually asking. Do you have any intentions on mining your own fuel? Here? No, not really. I mean, I could. But my rules are that KSC, you can mine stuff. You don't need to mine stuff at KSC. The KSC is a big enough launch, or a big enough spaceport to be, in my mind, to be able to produce the fuel on site. So... Alright, should be able to park the crane right here. Yeah, and that should bring this thing right into the rails. If not, you're about to see a gigantic freaking explosion. You know what? I don't know about the fuel dump over there, so... There's like a little pad here, and I'm just gonna move it forward a little bit. That should be... enough to be out of the way right there. Alright, launch this sucker. I really want you to buy the desert site so I can see a fuel plane delivering fuel. I kind of fell asleep last night, but I'm meaning to ask you, would it not be easier to mount the SSTO sideways so it can slide inside the crane easier? You can always fix that direction with the roll program. Actually, no, Mipoko. No, it wouldn't. How would I get it? How would I get the thing sideways? Honest question. Okay, so that's way out of whack. It's got to be... The crane has to go a couple of degrees, or a couple of ticks to the right. And, yeah, that was because it hit this thing. It knocked it out of alignment. Couple of ticks to the right. And then forward 3 or 4. Got it. Are you open to raids? What do you mean, Marcus? Like, other streamers raiding the stream? Yeah, why wouldn't I be? Yeah, Seg, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up, but hopefully you were entertained. It was great. We don't play Raid Shadow Legends, we play Shadow Legends of the Raid. Alright, a little bit different. Yeah, Shadow Legends of the Raid. And then it needs to go forward a little bit. Alright, let's go. But first, before we get into the launch down, it's your boy, Shadow Legends of the Raid. Hey Ian, what's going on? Clash of Shadow Kings Legends Raid League. Craft. It's just the craft in there for good measure. Alright, are we in the grooves? Okay, Crane is in the tracks. Let's do this. Val is going to help out with this one. Val, put on your helmet. Pad on. Apply directly to the forehead. Hey, Sis, what's going on? This is sponsored by Jeb VPN. But Jeb is dead, so he needs to be alive for me to name my VPN service after him? Pretty sure it's the opposite of that, Dr. Death. You should know this. Death is literally in your name. Whose rocket is this? It's not a rocket, baby. It's a launch vehicle. Whose launch vehicle is this? Jeb. Who's Jeb? Jeb's dead, baby. Jeb's dead. Crane is in position. Let me just make sure that I configure the naming convention on the crane. Rename base. This is LC1A crane. Okay, we are reconfigured. And I'm promptly going to recover Val because she's not part of the pad crew. If anyone's gonna kill Jeb, you're glad it's me. I like how I didn't kill Jeb in a save once in my original mission mode save. Well, it did kill him once in the original mission mode save. The second mission mode save ran from like 2016 to 2019. 3 solid years of nothing. Like, Jeb went to Mars, Duna and that, he went to the moon, he went to Minmus, he went all over the place. And then the career mode stuff happens, and then, which was a fluke, and then frickin' this bullcrap happens with the landing gear, and it's freaking, oh, AJ kills Jeb all the time. AJ kills Jeb all the time. Actually, no. That second mission mode save went from like 2014 to 2019. It was like 5 years of no Jeb killing. He didn't die once in that save. But no! Chat's like, remember that time EJ killed Jeb? Spare me. I won that tournament. Frickin' Chuck Norris. You didn't die in that one either. It was an omen. Actually, we still have to hire a Kerbal to replace him. Yeah. I never did that. Okay, so here's the launch table for the vehicle here. Jeb launched on a rocket 6 months ago to go get snacks, and he never came back. Remember that time you spent a few months making a Minmus refueling base and it exploded? Ha 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 ha. RJ, remember the time the time in chat when you weren't a friggin' prick? Yeah, me neither. You meanie piece of dog poop. You frickin' stupid punk. Little punk. Punk, stupid punk jokes. Remember that time you made a warp-capable ship? Oh wait, you don't use mods. Kraken tech. Did you go to counseling after the Minmus base exploded? No. We'll just say it was a learning experience, okay? Seriously, if I'd known about the docking vessel hierarchy, if I'd known about the docking vessel hierarchy with the Minus base, I could have made it work. I just didn't know. I didn't know better. All right. I do, Dan. Yeah. Good times. Oh, hang on. Incoming transmission. Yes. An email. Ah. Yes. Give me 1 second, guys. This is an important message. I'm talking to somebody very super important. You know anything about bending steel? And with my mind? Yeah, it's very easy, Dan. There is no steel. All right. Yeah, see, no, Mr. Bond, thank you. Thank you for being cool, unlike these heathens in here. What are those little solar panels doing on the fuel tanks? They keep the pad powered? Can I show off a KSP build? Sure. I need to bend some 6mm thick steel bars, but I need the cheapest way to do it. 6 mil? What's the radius of the bend, Dan? How far are you bending it? What are you bending it for? What's the application? What's the status for today? I'm installing the adapter, the upgraded adapter, and we'll get the shuttle out here next. Yeah, Joshy, thanks. Alright, drummer. As close to 90 degrees as possible for a couple of pannier mounts for your bike. What's the radius of the bend here, dude? So, like, do you want something like this? Or do you want something that's curved? Like, what are you trying to do? So, are we talking something like that? Or are we talking something like that? What's the radius here? Like this, or like this, not like this. These are not the doors of a billionaire, Richard. The sharper, the better. Oh, Loopy, Dan's looking to make some panniers for his bike. What? Hang on, I'm not familiar with that term. What? Let me see. What do these things look like? Well, S, you don't want to bend, if it's bar stock, you don't want to bend it too much. Because if you bend it too much, you'll fatigue the metal and it'll just crack. Dan, you're going to make something like this. Well, for a motorbike, but they're ammo cans. That's awesome. It's all right. So Dan, if you're gonna do something like this, you'd be better grabbing some angle iron, angle stock, dude. You want some angle stock like this? Get a drill some holes, and then bolt something together. That's what I would do. I would find some angle stock like this that they'd use for like a stop sign or a street sign. I don't know if they use that for a street sign where you are. Find some holed angle stock like this and just make a bracket to mount those things together, and then just bolt. Just get some grade 5 bolts and bolt it together. Heck, you don't even need grade 5 bolts. I mean, if it was me, I'd use grade 8, which is over engineering, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I would use angle stock. I wouldn't use bars for a motorcycle, but that's just me. Yeah, but you can get away with it once. Yeah. He's making a mount to keep them from rubbing against the wheel. Oh, okay. Cool. Alright. Raid my shuttle. Are you hacking? Yes. Yes, yes. Little baby. Nice. That's good, man. Alright. Let's make sure we're aligned for the plate. Let's do this, dudes. Okay, this is the launch bracket to be able to adapt the pad to be able to adapt the pad to the SSTO. Press brake would be good, Dan, but that angle iron with some bolts will help you. The angle iron is good because it's super strong and it's already bent. Tom, I always use grade 8. All the bolts that I have on the truck that I replaced them all with grade 8, even if they're not suspension bolts. Grade 8 with some Loctite. I'd rather have the peace of mind knowing that that is never breaking. That bolt will never shear. Grade 8 bolts are like really heavy-duty engineered bolts. Guys, for the folks that don't know, they're super heavy-duty. You can tell a grade 8 bolt because of the hash marks on the top. So I'm not sure exactly how they came up with this, but a grade 8 bolt has 6 hash marks like that, which means it's engineered to be able to take much more shear before it snaps. And then there's a grade 5 bolt which has 3 hash marks on it, and then there's just a grade 1 bolt which is, or no, grade 3 I think, which has nothing on the top. Yeah, I like using grade 8 bolts. Grade 8 bolts are generally used for suspension, like applications and mil-spec stuff. Tom, you said it already. Yeah. Yeah. I use grade 8 all over the shuttle. All over the truck, excuse me. I'm thinking about the SSTO. I use it all over there to make sure that I know for a fact those bolts won't break. It's not that much more expensive. Yep, that's right, Flip Up. Hit you up about that thing, possibly. No. Did you change the crane at all? I remember that it is pretty close when the thing takes off. I made it so the crane can move farther away, Ryan. I added more track. Ah, Dan, you can make this. You want to make this? Oh, this is, dude, plumber's torch and a solid metal surface. Heat this sucker up with the torch, but not too much. Don't get it red hot. And then hit the thing with the hammer to the bend that you want. Measure it, hit it a little bit, heat it, measure it, hit it a little bit, and heat it, right? And then for these sections out on the end, heat the thing up to get it red hot, and then plaster that thing with the hammer to make it flat. Or put it in some kind of press if you can find that. That shouldn't be too hard to make. I could fab up this bracket in a day. I mean, it's not that bad. Yeah, that should be pretty straightforward, dude. Hi, Pick. Yeah, you got a plumber's torch and a good hammer, dude. You can get that thing figured out. It's not that bad. All right. Let's just make sure that this thing is pointed straight up. It's at 89.1 right now, which is not what we want. It's not completely flush. I gotta back it up a little bit. I gotta make sure that, long story short, we have to make sure that this thing is pointed straight up. This is the plate adapter that will hold the vehicle in place. Yeah, the rocket, you know, the thing that we need to shoot straight up in the air, yeah, I have to make sure that it's pointing straight up in the air. So it's important to get your measurements here and do it right. Because if it's not straight up in the air, then you're going to go to launch it, and it's not going to do what you think it's going to do, that's for sure. Yeah, just ask the dude you bought the bike from to see if he can fab up a bracket for you. And then you'll head out to the highway. I agree, dude. Yeah, it should be good. 89.9. All right, let's drop her down. Let's see what it does. Control from here. Straight up. Cool. All right. What I did last time is activate same vessel collision here. So these things will collide up against that. And this will hold the thing in place. And then these I set to heaviest part, so they don't move. So I can do some freewheel banning! Alright, we're gonna stow the crane. And guys, guess what? Time to get the shuttle. Oh, and the fuel truck. I should probably get the fuel truck first. 10 kilometers up, Strange, is where we're heading right now.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Inks, what's up, dude? What race is tonight? Any chance I can suggest Charlotte Roval? Is it Friday? Oh, it's Thursday. No, that's tomorrow, Blue. Oh, dude, don't scare me. I thought I forgot what day it was. Did you put fuel dumps on the test article? I didn't, but we haven't rolled it out yet, Hellfish, so yeah, we'll do that in a moment. I was like, wait. Oh, crap. I got to race soon? Whoops. I'm so happy that summer's here. I don't know about you guys. Summer is my favorite. My favorite time of the year is the last week of June, first week of July. Those are my favorite 2 weeks because it's always, at least here in the States, that's when you have, you know, that's weird. It's always, you know, when you have the first days of the really, really nice weather start happening, and then you get like, the really nice weather starts happening, and then you get to go outside and get to do stuff. I hope you're enjoying your summer. Yeah, well, I am. It ain't summer for you no more, Joshy. Alright, I'm gonna park that truck right there. Get out of your seat. Alright, so now we'll get Glebless out here with a fuel truck. I hate both hot and cold weather. Give me spring and autumn. Ew. Okay. Let's get the fuel truck out. And then let's get the shuttle. Excited to look outside your office window at the nice weather? Sure. I cover up all the windows with blackout curtains because they're good for acoustics. Yeah, Josh, yeah, you guys' winter is just mild weather. You guys' winter is like 15 C all day. My winter is like minus 10 C. And don't get me wrong, and before people are going to be like, well, I live here, and it's so much that if I put my nuts on the counter, they're going to freeze to it. Yeah, I get it. There's places that are colder. I don't like those places either. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't like those places either. I don't like cold. Cold sucks. Your cashews. I live here too. I really don't like the cold, Zen. I've been dealing with winter for 30 years. I hate it. I hate snow. I hate cold. It's annoying. It's dry, cold. The snow melts everywhere. See what I did there? Move the Florida. Can't, man. It's not my decision. Salt on the roads, ruining my freaking car. I was expecting the meme. Nice, man. Good work. Good teamwork. The only reason I like the cold is because I can have more blankets and sleep the best. Yeah, weighted blanket in the cold, Hellfish. I'll give you that one. Sure, man. I'm with you. I don't mind the humidity, Leahy. Alright, let's get the fuel truck out. Start loading up the pad. You know what, fellas? I was just thinking, with the pad anchors that they're going to add in KSP in the next patch, guys, there's, like, before, if I wanted to make another launch site around here, right, I would basically be constricted to wherever the terrain was perfectly flat, and then I'd have to move modules out there and assemble the pad. With this, we could have basically a bunch of launch pads right here that are out of render range, bunch of launch facilities, ground anchored to the ground that don't have to absolutely be on level terrain. All I got to do is measure the slope of the terrain and put the thing on hydraulics, right? And we know that if the hydraulics push into the ground, they ain't gonna drift very much. So I mean, we could really... I could build a pad here built into the hill and have like a flame trench, Soyuz style, if we really wanted to. We could do stuff like that, which would be pretty cool. And then I could make a pier and anchor the pier to the ground, which also could be cool. And, I mean, I don't have to build launch sites here, even though that would be easier. I could build one over here if I really wanted to. We could go build 3 or 4 of them at the desert. And we don't need perfectly flat terrain to do it either, which is pretty rad. That's really cool. Those ground anchors are really going to make a difference. Pad anchors? No, not pad anchors. Ground anchors, S. They're adding ground anchors into the game that Kerbals can place down. You place down, and it's a plate that's about the size of a 1.25 meter adapter, and it screws itself into the ground. And then in Kerbal construction mode, you can attach things to it, like a docking port. Yeah. Yeah. And then Max, freaking tease that he is, came in here and was telling me all the other things. He's like, oh, there's also more stuff that's gonna, that you'll really enjoy, but I can't tell you about it. I'm like, You can make a test platform with 4 hydraulics to level a pad, measure how much each you need to extend, and then replicate it with your normal post. Yeah, Loopy. Seriously, possibilities are pretty insane. Sounds like a path to some abilities that may consider unnatural. Zen, have I ever told you the story of Darth Aegeus the Wise? He was able to manipulate Kerbal to his will. They don't just update it for me, yes. I'm very careful about what I recommend for the game, and I only do it if I'm asked. Because I care more about the game and people playing the game than I care about me having fun with the game, and that's the honest truth. Did you see the new suits? I did. Yeah, T-Man, everybody likes screwing with me. It's fine. Chat is screwing with me constantly, and that's okay. They're just busting my balls. Nobody means it. And I know that. I sometimes play along and I oversell. I oversell it a little bit, and it looks like I'm getting actually annoyed. But believe me, you've seen me playing GTA Racing. You know when I get annoyed. What will your fuel depot look like in 1.12? Don't know. Okay, that is enough fuel to do our suborbital test, and actually, it's actually enough fuel to do 2 of them. To do 2 suborbital tests. Alright, so we're going to recover the fuel truck. Underground GSE fuel lines. Place a part, hook up the lines, move the part to clip under the ground on both sides. Maybe. I don't think it'll let you place the thing underneath the ground. It would be cool, though. Is KSP still going to compete with KSP 2? KSP is still going to be developed, even after KSP 2 releases per Private Division, so they're not going to necessarily compete with each other. It's because they're 2 different games. But it's cool that they will keep support going for it, to be honest with you. No, John, we're going to go about the same, but this time, instead of flying out to sea, this will be straight up. That should get us the height that we need. Are these flights suborbital? I thought suborbital implied that it goes to space at least. Yeah. Well, what else would you call this? Less than orbital? Yeah. Do you know anything about the Lockheed CL-346 VTOL concept? No. Let me take a look. I like that. That's cool. A VTOL F-104. That's actually pretty cool. No, I didn't know about this. That's pretty neat. Cool. All right, guys. Here we go. Just the savage jab at Star Citizen, man. Jesus. Oh, man. VTOL F-104 isn't good at anything, though. So. Alright, here we go. Prototype 3 is out. What changes did you do between V2 and V3? Shady, I changed where the engines mount just a little bit. And that's actually pretty much it. I changed where the engines mount to the thing, and then I added the speed brake. There's a speed brake up there now, and that's, yeah, pretty much it. Did you fix the panels on the underside flexing a bit? I did. It's still going to flex just a little bit. You want a little bit of flex, but not a lot of flex. That's correct, Euckerman. Molly, what's going on? Long time no see, buddy. I didn't scrap it, Wookie. I'm going to save that plan for the big one. I figured out a way to be able to launch this thing off of this in the time being. So I needed some flight data. I basically got to make sure that this friggin' thing works. So is that banana bread with chocolate chips in it? Ugh. Okay.
It came out crumblier than I thought it would, so that's why it's not white.
I mean, it's, yeah. Oh. Clumps. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Excuse me. That's right, Rendezvous. You're not wrong, dude. Alright, cool. Banana bread break is over. Triple B is over, Zero. Banana bread break. Alright. Let's see if our bracket works for this thing. It can, Wookie, yeah. I'm gonna try to get 2 in tonight, Ismic. Hopefully I can recover this dang thing. Because theoretically, if I get this thing back to the runway, well, I'll keep the bracket on the crane. The bracket will stay on the crane, so... well, actually, it'd be better to install the bracket on the truck, but... I'll install the carrying bracket back on the recovery truck. How's the crane going to pick the bracket up? It's a puzzle. It's always a puzzle to solve. Basically, the recovery truck needs to go get the thing, and then I need to reinstall the bracket. I'm not sure I'm going to do that, but... So I thought, I'm sorry and I apologize meant the same thing, but apparently not at a funeral. Not at a funeral? Yeah. 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 What the hell, man? What the heck? Jesus, Wartang. Okay. Alright, we're attached. Just turn the dampers down. Don't freak out on me. I changed the engine configuration, Farwig, and I strengthened some components here and there, and I added the speed brake. Okay, alignment keepers. Push the alignment keepers inward a little bit so they can roll around without it getting too hung up. Toggle the brakes. And then we will undo this thing and hopefully our bracket works. Alright, here we go. That thing just doesn't freaking want to work. Why doesn't it want to move? Maybe I need a counterweight or something. Alright, well, we'll do this not in a way that I wanted. Gotta be very careful here. Just scrape the body flaps on the ground. It's fine. It's fine. I gotta like counterweight the bracket or something because it really doesn't want to pivot for whatever reason. Maybe I'll move the pivot point up or something. Yeah, the recovery vehicle is gonna be a little bit tricky to figure out. Oh, don't. Careful. Just scraping the body flaps on the ground. This is super realistic, right? Yeah, they're already unpowered, Resega, which is weird. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what I need this thing to do. Something like this. Hey, Rocket Guy. Yeah, this isn't the final thing. This is just to get some flight testing data under my belt. The thing looks sick, though. Look at that thing. It's so cool looking. When banana? Banana! I'm not even playing that album right now. You want me to switch over to it? This album's almost done. About 40 tons, Coos. Give or take. Can you please explain why shutdown engine's still gimbal in this game? Because see that button right there? That button is set to free. That should fix it. Or just double action group bind it. Ask a moderator, Nutbuster. Oh, man. Is it safe for a Kerbal to be underneath an SSTO? He's not underneath it. Underneath it would be over here. And Resegan, I know you're here. Good call on doing this, man. Saved me a lot of time. I didn't want to sit there and mess with rolling the stupid thing over there and having the wheels break. It's a real big pain in the butt.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
It's time. What's going on, man? No orbital test. I need a suborbital test. I gotta figure out how this thing flies better. Nice, rocket guy. There you go. That's cool, man. Oh, that looks so cool. Okay. 3 is in position. Set that to high. Grandparent strut. And let's look at our alignment markers here. Control from here, 89.6. 89.8. Oh, alright. Yeah, the bracket is doing exactly what I wanted it to. Go figure. Alright, dudes. Let's plug this thing up. Make sure our alignment is good. .8. That's pretty dang good, man. Alright, let's drop her down, see what happens. Easy. Okay, she's buttoned in. It's a milk stool. It's a milk stool for the SSTO, Ren. Yeah, man. Okay. Check for alignment again. Probe core is reading 90. It's straight. Perfectly straight. Excellent. We'll just leave the bracket on this thing attached because, yeah, I'm gonna have to find a way to recover the freaking thing and go from there. I'll just leave this attached and put it in the stowed position. No, over here. Yeah. So I hope I can make this thing do what I want it to do today. I think I buttoned up all the problems that I had with 2. This time, I'm not going to screw with the body flap as much, because it has a lot of deflection. But yeah, glad you like it, man, as always. Casper's like... Oh, it does look cool. It looks freaking cool. I love it. Dude, I was so pissed that chat chose the SSTOs, but now I'm like, okay, I get it. Thanks, MGB. I mean, that means a lot coming from you, considering. Dude, I was looking over your mod pack, man. It's really good, man. Like, you did a really good job. Those parts look great. I'm like, huh. Like, I'm super impressed, dude. Those parts are great, dude. Yeptacular, what's up, man? Long time no see. Are the big hinges still not strong enough to lift vertical? I wouldn't use the hinges. I wouldn't use any of the hinges to lift the vertical. I would use hydraulics with free-floating hinges, TD. That's really where I'm at. What parts? So MGB made a Venture Star parts pack. Yeah. And then a transporter erector and a launch pad for it to... as like an all-in-one pack. MGB, link it so Master can see it. Yeah, the TE that he made was based off of Condor's TE that I made in regular KSP. He went and modeled one, and it's amazing. Yeah, MGB, plug your mod pack, seriously. These parts are freaking pro, dude. They're really good. They look like they're part of the stock game, and you know I'm a sucker for stuff like that. Hey, Oyster, what's going on, dude? Heck yeah, man, we got a party in here. Thomas found the link before MGB. He's making a payload crane for it, too. Nice. This is End of the Night by Robert Parker, Valise. Here, I'll link you up if you want it. Copy the Earl. MGB. Thomas is quick on the draw like that. He does that. Yeah, all good, man. All good.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Sethron. 39 months, dude. Well, since everybody else is doing it. Thanks, man. Dude, Sawyer, you know,
Discovery, go at throttle up.
You know, all I can picture, dude, is a Venture Star being rolled out of the VAB on an ML. It would work. I mean, it wouldn't be Lockheed's Erector and Flame Trench, but man, seeing a Venture Star blast out a 39A would have really, you know what? I would have been okay with that. That would have been pretty cool. Oh, don't give me those images. Oh, sorry, man. Can you imagine one bouncing off of a milk stool, like Saturn 1B style? Dude, that would be freaking awesome. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, we got plenty more clearance now. We are good. Check for the clearance. Clearance confirmed. Roger. What's our vector, Victor? Oh yeah. All right. Oh man, that's cool. I gotta take a screenshot. I gotta take like a real screenshot. We gotta make sure the flag has the logo in it. Oh, that is so cool! Damn! Damn, boy, she thick! Scott is battling the Twitter people. Oh dear. Oh man, this thing's nuts. Yeah, we freaking milk-stooled it. Milk-stooled it on a freaking pedestal. Right now, this pad, guys, can launch 3 rockets. I could launch Freedom 7, Freedom 10, or this. Is this 3? Yeah, Hook. Yep, you got it, man. It is 3. Gosh, dang, is this a nice piece of kit. All right. No, not cheats. I don't use those. All right, here we go. Scott is in the midst of a civil war, and it's not even funny.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Oh God, you guys keep saying that. Now I want to go look, but also. Oh, who could that be? Hey, that's me! Hey, Jim. Oh God, no! I could read that thread for days, dude. I could read that thread for days, and I'm not gonna read that thread for days. Let's launch. Ooh, Kim, if you're still here, cool. Cool. Yeah, Resega, dude, once again, thank you for telling me that telling me how to use my stupid crane, and I'm actually not being sarcastic. You saved me a ton of time. Can you do me a favor and send it? Well, we gotta check something here. What I need to check is, this one more time. Now that is a plot twist, though. Grumman hasn't built a human lander in, what, 50-ish years? After stream reading, got it. Kim, can I buy it? I'll buy it. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with it, but I'll buy it. Can I buy it? I'll pay like $3. I'll offer $3.50. All right. I'm not sure how these things are gonna hold up, so we'll do another static fire here to see what happens. Alright, so let's power the vehicle on. And we gotta do an alignment check, and then I need to turn auto struts on. Make sure we're picking up on the root part. Okay, root part is confirmed. Cool. The reason why I needed to make sure we were set to the root part is because you gotta remember, this vehicle is docked. It's docked to the launch pad. It's not like a launch clamp. I gotta make sure that when I go to launch this thing, I'm controlling the friggin' thing when it leaves the pad. That's really important. I don't think I need to say why. So That's why I do that hierarchy check there. A launch is as good as a static fire. Okay. All right. That's how we want to roll. Newhauser, I'm with you on that one. I don't think we should be too quick to judge, but NASA's hands were tied. But whatever. I had a big breakdown during Space News. If you want to go look into it, I think it covered every base. I'm pretty sure I got all of it. All right. You know what, Dead Crew? That's a good point. Let's do a static fire. We have enough fuel to do it. So, okay. Vehicle is clear. Let's start our tanking operations here. God damn it. Oh. That freaking thing. Ridiculous. Well, does heat shields handle a static fire? Well, Louisa, that's kind of what I have to figure out. Why does the pad have solid fuel in it? I'm using solid fuel for counterweight for the launch pedestal, dude. Counterweight for the launch pedestal so it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, Dish, I'm with you on that one. They really don't know what they're talking about, do they? It's kind of scary. Oh, I didn't put dumps on the tank. Oh well. It's alright. Chat, one of you guys remind me that I need to put a liquid fuel purging system on this thing. So I can evac the tanks if I need to. Yeah. Stupid-ish. Ridiculous. Alright, cool. How did the Apollo astronauts sleep in the LEM? Here's a blanket, sit in your chair and fall asleep. I agree, Rocket Guy. I don't think it's their fault. What I said basically during Space News, dude, is that the broad agency announcement for human landing system services, so the next step 2 and kind of the follow-on program to the first HLS thing, which is the routine mission stuff, is what this funding is going towards. That $10 billion isn't going right into their pocket. It's going for funding for 2 landers for operational missions. SpaceX's contract for HLS is just for a demonstration mission and a lunar landing for Artemis 3, right? So I'm fairly confident if that Senate bill goes through, they'll drop the protest. I'm pretty damn sure. But what do I know? I mean, I could be wrong. Oh, sleep in the LEM, Shaw. Oh, yeah, they had hammocks. In the LEM, they had hammocks. Yeah, you're right. You guys are correct. I thought you were talking about the CSM. That's why I said, here's your seat, you know, because there weren't any seats in the LM. There's no seats in the LEM. They didn't have room for that. Or, well, a better way to say that is they didn't have mass for it. No seats. Stand up, and if you want to sit down, lay your hammock out. They would have their hammocks like this. Like bunk beds. Bunk bed hammocks, pretty much. Alright. Let's go for our static fire here. We gotta watch the heat shields and make sure all the radiators in the flame trench are on. Okay, everything is good. Okay, we're tanked here. Let's power the vehicle on. Vehicle is powered on. let's do a static fire first. We'll begin engine chill down here. Okay, let's check wiggles. Yeah, Eukerman, do you see I moved them into the right position so they don't clip. There's just a little bit there and a little bit there. There's nothing on that side, nothing over there. Okay, make sure we lock out the control surfaces here. We're not going to need those for the ascent. These things can steer us just fine. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is a static fire. I need to watch the thermal debug for these things and see how well it's handling. See how well this thing is basically radiating heat. So we're going to do a 6-second static fire here, and let's see what happens. Worst case scenario, we blow up the heat shield, in which case I can just repair the milk stool and we'll pull it off with the crane and repair it. Did anyone ever sleep in the LEM while it was on the lunar surface? Yeah. How are you going to sleep in hammocks in 0G? Reagan? Yeah. Of course. Alright. Here we go. Static fire is ready to go in T-minus 10. So I think a 6-second burn should be enough. If these things can withstand 6 seconds of full blast with the shuttle motors, we should be fine. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go for static fire. Yeah, it obliterated the heat shields just as I thought. The heat shields have the ablator, right? And the ablator works just fine. But the heat shield just gets too hot. If the heat shield gets too hot, it can't ablate fast enough and it just blows up. That's what I thought would happen. I mean, but this is just a test thing, so I'm not too incredibly concerned. How much room did they have in the LEM? About the size of a broom closet, T-Man, give or take. Okay, shut down. Lock the gimbal. Shut down, lock the gimbal. Radiators. Yeah, I shaped a bunch of radiators on the sides and stuff, Wookiee, to resemble a flame trench, and they didn't pull. The radiators are on, guys. That's how much heat these things make, dude. So how do we mitigate that? Well, Green, on the real pad, we shouldn't have a problem. On the real pad, it shouldn't be an issue. Because the transporter erector pad has this thing with nothing in it and it's pointed at the ground. The whole reason why I put a deflector in here was because I don't want the engines pointing down at the root part here, which is basically what they're doing. I don't want it pointing at the root part of this, because if we blow up the root part of the pad on takeoff, the pad will crack and strike and promptly obliterate itself. Which might happen here, but at least we'll get the vehicle off, you know? It's because I didn't activate the sound suppression system. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so we're going to shut the vehicle down and we're going to refresh the tanks. Okay, tanks are refreshed. We are... Okay, we're go for this. Let's get the mission mode to temp log up. This is launch and landing test 2. What's the MET? Year 4, day 23. Y4, day 23. Let's target a liftoff time of 5:29:00. So that's in 2 minutes and 12 seconds. No crew, no suborbital flight test. This is the 96th launch, first launch of the pad. It was recovered. Vehicle is 3. Second suborbital flight and approach landing test for LV5. And I think we are set to jet. Okay. Can you make the stand taller? I could. Tweet. Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, we could make it a little bit taller. This was a botch job. I put this together real quick. It should be okay. I mean, it's probably going to blow these things up. But last time we did that, it wasn't that big of a deal. So, I'm not too incredibly worried about it. Do I have a flight plan? Yes. Our flight plan is basically, we're going to take off, throttle the engines up, we're going to punch it off the pad, and I'm not going to do a roll program. We're basically going to go up and head north. We're going to go up and we're going to head north, and I'm going to go up and out here like this, and then we're going to fly down, turn around, come back, and land on the runway. So from the top, our launch pattern will look like this. That's what we're trying to do. What we are trying to do. Did I file the paperwork with the KAA? Of course. All right. So we're at T-minus 1 minute 45 seconds. We'll begin thermal conditioning of the engines. Thermal conditioning on the engines is confirmed. 89.8 is good. Cycle the throttle again. Activating the engine. Okay. We have thermal conditioning achieved on the engine.
Discovery, go at
Hey
throttle
Mike,
up.
69-month reset. What year is it? Yeah, I don't know. Good for a 75-second burn. It was a little less last time. It was a 70-second burn before. I thought, whatever. All right. So let's open up. Vehicle is powered on. We are going to control from here. Hierarchy check shows that we should be good for data S. I'm going with iterative testing. Okay. I want this open because I need to see how the vehicle handles. I don't need the orbital data. The altitude data is over here. All of our data is up. Flight data recorders are online. We are sitting at T-minus 1 minute and 3 seconds. Ground pyrotechnic system is online. Let's get this one back onto the runway, guys. Rock, report range status. Status check. Go LV5. Go launch and landing test 2. Cleared to proceed with terminal count. T-minus 30 seconds in-game and counting. Ground pyrotechnic systems are armed. Alright, let's fly this sucker today. Body flap actuator control is online. Speed brake control is online. T-minus 30 seconds in real time. Simulation rate is a little slow. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition and liftoff. Liftoff, SN3 on the LLT-2 flight test. Cleared the tower. All systems are looking good. SAS is compensating. Vehicle's throttling back. Okay. Control surfaces are on. I guess we'll do the southern approach this time. Shutting down the engines. Locking the gimbals. Gimbals are locked out. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to make sure that we have the aero display data in the menus open. Drag is 8 right there. 8 from the back of the vehicle. This is where I want it to create drag, guys. That's on purpose. This is what I want it to do. Okay, let's bring her down here. We don't want to go too far out to sea like we did before, but it is flying fine. It's flying really well. Yeah, everything I'm commanding the vehicle to do, once again, is working correctly. Side slip is not that bad, actually. It's, yeah, pretty much non-existent from those wings. Everything is good here. Okay, checking nose down capability. Yeah, these little control surfaces are doing it. We don't even need to shim that body flap. We're gonna gain some speed here. We're gonna do the flare and try to bring this thing right down onto that runway. What's making the most drag here? Okay, these panels out back are making a lot of drag. We're basically nosing this thing into the ground, and it's still... We're still slowing down, which... That might be a little too much off the back. But here, let me bring her in. It has the tendency to nose up. There's the launch pad coming back into render range. It has a tendency to want to nose up here. Which is fine. It's just the center of mass elevating. Yeah, it's that. Those things are pretty crazy. Okay. We're going to be short again. It's creating too much drag off the back. Give me the gear. Toggle the brakes. Okay. Beginning the flare. Come on. Oh, we lost the body flaps. Oh, we lost it. Whew, too much. Yeah, it's creating way too much drag off the back, guys. Way too much drag out of the back of this thing. Yeah, I lost the, I lost the flaps. Yeah, that is a lot of drag. Don't get me wrong. A vehicle like this would be creating a lot of drag, but we were creating about... Oh, I don't know. At one point, we were creating about 20 to 30 kilonewtons of drag like combined with the fuel tank fairing and that panel off the back. That's way too much. Did you pop a wheel? I didn't pop a wheel. We bent the landing gear because I stalled over the runway. Yeah, it's back in one piece, relatively. Yeah, it's not so much... Yeah, it's bent. Fixing this one is a heck of a lot cheaper than the last one. Yeah, guys, we need to come up with another solution here for these structural panels. I mean, but 3 did come back down. It's damaged, but it came back down. Yeah, the test was good. The vehicle flies fantastic, to be honest with you. The only problem I'm having is the drag that it makes out back, which we can fix. That's no problem. Flags? What about the flags? It's not, no, Joshy, it's fine. Don't worry about it. SN10 minus the after landing boom. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we gotta find a better solution for the structural panels in the back. Other than that, though, that's right, Crash. Can you occlude them behind a fairing without adding mass? I don't know. Double up on the rear gear, put nose cones on the panels. Loopy is... yeah. I'm not sure that's going to make that much of a difference. Do the nose cones on the panels like that make... Is it... correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that putting nose cones on the panels don't... They don't mitigate it as much as you would like. No, Nulty. Kerbal doesn't work like that. Nose cones make a lot of difference if you use the 2.5 nose cone. Yeah, New Century, the funny thing is that, you know... This ain't my idea, brother. This is Lockheed's idea. So, you're not wrong. Kyron, I should be able to just tow the thing with the truck down the runway. That should be enough. Last. Yeah, yeah, I know. You and like 4 other people. Would stacking a bunch of smaller panels on the back nodes and smoothing them out work? Probably not. Would smaller panels create less drag? No, it's proportional, Doom. I'm pretty sure of that. And I don't know about linking the brakes to retract the body flaps, dude. I might have to. Oh, Zanku, that's not even funny. Ryan, I'm looking for your last. I can't see it. Type it out again. The ascent regime was pretty good. This thing definitely wants to nose over, and it wants to fly wings down because of the angle of incidence on the Fat 455. It wants to go this way. Leave the backside open. For now, yeah. I wonder if it's a drag or the lift-induced drag. You were almost generating as much LID as you were creating pure drag. Most of the time you were generating almost half as much drag due to the LID. What do you think, Rocket Guy? I'd need to go look at a replay of the landing here. And then here's what we're gonna do. Ready? Just to get the gear back into place, we're gonna do this. I'll drop her down on its belly. And then I should be able to do one of these here. Time warp should knock everything back into position. Cool. Alright, well, the only thing we lost was the elevons and the connectors, which is not that big of a deal. Shut up, Zanku. The gear is reinforced with struts, Sneaky. It still did it, unless it's not in symmetry. Let me take a look. Oh. Not in sim. Well, damn, did we just get lucky. Holy crap. Oh, so the left gear stayed real rigid, but the right gear collapsed almost, dude. Oh, no. That wasn't it. It deleted the symmetry node, or I just didn't hit the symmetry button. It's probably that one. But yeah, good call, Sneaky. Where are the panels attached to? These are actually attached to the fairing plate. Yeah, they're nodes snapped to the fairing plate, Loopy. The interstage attachment nodes. Whew. Nice. That's pretty cool, man. We got one back! We got one back! I'm so happy. It's a little damaged, but it's alright. We got one back! Did anybody clip the landing so I could watch it real quick? Because I wasn't watching the vehicle, but EJ got it into the beast. Hey, thanks, Mind Drive. Ryan, what was your last? I'm looking forward. Could the empty middle be causing something? No. Kerbal aerodynamics don't work that way, dude. Oh yeah, Tech, for sure. Let's go. That's right. How far into that fairing plate would they need to be considered occluded? The center of mass of the part needs to be inside of the fairing. What about the spinning spoke heat shield to prevent... I mean, it's just a little launch mount, Wookie, and I believe the launch mount actually lasted. Let's switch back over here. Let me look at the pad real quick. I actually think those things survived. Yeah, they did. The trench did its job. Huh. Well, I'll be. Nice. Great condition. No low balls. I know what I have. So, Rocket Guy, you think we're generating too much? Few 2.5 nose cones should do the trick. I'd wanna see this data over here, guys. KSP keeps an eye on cross-section area when going from part to part. Calculate drag. So attaching them behind a part with a closer surface area will give them less drag. Cool. I believe you, Loopy. Yeah, it's generating too much drag. I wanted to generate drag, but not that much. Did you test the verniers? No. I forgot, Benno, but the verniers should work. There's no reason that they shouldn't. We could put this thing, I mean, I could put it back on the stand with no body flaps and see what it does, but this thing won't fly right with these things not back here. The LID would be, lift-induced drag would be from your angled wing segments. I don't have anything to really compare for drag values, but your LD was good for KSP. Lift to drag was good to KSP, okay. Might be a slight change to the design. You could try to go for how adding some flaps to the wing or front of the ship. No. No, Klein, no, I'm good. I'm not adding canards to this. There is more data to be had here. I gotta go get the recovery vehicle. I'm gonna get this thing, which Glebless is driving around right now, and huh. Why can't I control this? Don't give me that look. Don't tell me to put canards on my ship. Now, RJ, the testing regime should be about the same. So attaching them behind the 2.5 meter tanks would get them better to behave. You'd be stair-stepping if you rather. Okay. Input locks? Yeah, I don't know why we're getting an input lock here, but yeah, here, let's see. Yeah, there we go. We're good now. I think that was just a weird glitch. Glebless is... Glebless can't leave the freaking thing, which is annoying, but alright. Why don't you like canards? Because I didn't design this vehicle to have canards in it from the start, Ryan, so why would I attach canards if I didn't intend for them to be there? That's called a band-aid fix. That's how you make your... That's a bad habit to get into. That's not how engineering happens. They don't say, oh, you know, this thing would, you know, this thing isn't really doing what I want it to do, but it would be... Canards would fix it. No, canards are a tool to achieve a result. You know, this screw isn't really working how I want it to, so let me use a hammer to nail it in. See what I'm talking about? It's a tool to achieve a result, okay? So I don't, in that regard, I don't like using canards as a band-aid fix like that. Re-engineer the vehicle, understand why it's not doing what you want it to do, and go from there. Old meme, yeah. Either way, it'll tone down the drag while keeping the panels there. So 2.5 nose cones. I mean, that could work. Okay. Thank you for the landing footage, fellas. Alright, before we go down here and get some recovery data, let's take a look. I'm gonna take a look here, see what we can see. Let's just watch it in normal speed here. Yeah, I mean, we stalled. We stalled right at, I mean, I couldn't, you know, I'm flaring at 45 meters a second. That's no good. Let's take a look here. Ooh. Did I at least improve it? Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's horrid. That's horrid. See, Laston, I have an idea on how to help. Yeah, of course you do. Yep, okay. Thank you for contributing nothing to the conversation, as per usual. When are you going to do a hot tub stream? Well, I don't think anybody wants to see that. I'm pretty sure no one wants to see that. You don't want to see that. You don't want that. I didn't see you actuate the back panels. I should have pulled the body flap up, but I was afraid I was going to nose up and have the thing touch the ground like what happened before. Yeah, our vertical speed is 4.28 meters a second. That's pretty bad. Side slip is not bad at all. AOA is 19 degrees. Okay. Would it help to shorten them a tad? It's going to throw off the entire center of lift, center of mass relationship, Ismic, so it probably wouldn't help. Hinder more than anything. That LID is what you were talking about. So this is the lift-induced drag, Rocket Guy. This is the drag that's created by wings. Is that what you're telling me here? Is that what you're telling me? It's behind my head. So this is an aero problem, Nuclear, but it's an aero problem that I wouldn't have been able to predict unless we went and tested the thing. By lift vectors not generating pure lift force. Okay, so Rocket Guy, would an example of that being a wing with an angle of incidence, right? So if you have an angled wing, not all of that wing is being used to generate lift, and some of it's being used to make drag, right? Well, not being used, but is that what we're talking about here? Yeah, Brian, it's creating too much drag. The thing, Yeah, it flies very bad. A component of lifting pointing backwards. Yeah, okay. So what else is here? What else? There's a whole bunch of information. Total lift, total drag, 175. Oof. Yeah, see, that's way too much. Yeah, Wookie, well that will come with flight testing. Yes, I'm good, thank you very much. I should have probably pulled the flap, but I was afraid of doing exactly what I did before and tipping the whole back of the ship into the ground. Yeah, it creates a lot of drag. I said it, that was intentional, but I overestimated. We're making too much drag. The thing flies too poorly. Lift to drag is 2.24. That's a good LD, Rocket Guy. That's good. And LID is not the worst. It's just we need to knock this down a little bit. That's all. We got to knock that one down. Yeah, Yarg. Binding it to the gear, actually, what a viewer said, is actually not a bad idea. Other than that, though, like I said, everything I'm commanding the vehicle to do is working just fine. It's working great, actually. Bind it to the brakes. Maybe set it to a cal controller or something. Are we gonna reset the drag and try again? Well, I know what components are creating the most drag here. From the aero overlay when we were flying it around. No, S, you don't want to move the gear back. These things need to be able to land at a high angle of attack because lifting body. Remember, I'm not designing it to work. I'm beyond designing it to work. I can get this thing to land on the runway. I just did. I'm designing it to fly like a lifting body, i.e. it's not supposed to... it's supposed to act exactly like it, just like Collins was as close as I could get to the actual shuttle. I want it to create drag. I just don't want it to create that much drag. We need to get our lift to drag ratio down. Or lift to drag ratio needs to go up. It needs to be like 2.5, 2.6, I'd say. Rocket Guy, what say you? I think the main thing is replace the panels with flags. Okay. Yeah. No, S, it's not just that high angle of attack. You're right, but it's in real life. If I'm remembering correctly, the space shuttle needed to land a high angle of attack to because it utilizes some of the ground effect to mitigate vertical speed. That's why it kind of just hovers over the runway for a second and then slowly touches its gear down. You can utilize the ground effect better if the body flap is closer to the ground. I'm trying to make it, like I said, it's realistic. I'm pretty sure that's what that does. But don't quote me on that. Look, every single lifting body vehicle that's come back from space, soon Dream Chaser, the shuttle X-37, none of them have the gear at the back. All of them have the gear balanced around the center of mass like an airplane. There's a very good reason for that, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But I don't know exactly. Long girders, what drag do they have? I mean, the drag is entirely dependent on the speed, Doom, but I don't want to add too much mass to this thing. We already have a pretty crappy mass fraction. EJ, you might also consider that you need to fly a bit faster, so a longer approach into the runway. I mean, I guess, Toa. I have plenty of ways to bleed off speed, but my vehicle's having trouble just flying back to the runway after basically launching straight up above it, dude, so... I don't know. You need to be able to sit on the and pivot your rear wheels. That way you can ease the nose down and not just slam it into the ground. Makes sense, Loopy? Alright, let's go back over here. I mean, I'm pretty sure because of how hard I hit the ground there, that even if I'd flared the body flaps back up, we still would have lost the vehicle, or they still would have hit the ground. Excuse me. All right, let's go back over here, and let me turn the music back on. Let's go see if we can. I want to see how well we can recover this sucker. Yeah, there you go, Luke. Hey, Aline. I just completed a test flight, and it's the first Dorito that I got back. You know what I mean? It's the first Dorito we got back. Could you use cow and bind body flap to a hinged throttle? Yeah, Uber, we could. That's a way, but I'm not sure if that's the best way to do it. We'll find out. Well, that's a nay on the recovery vehicle there. But we did get 3 back. I'm basically probably going to take this back into the hangar. And we also need to figure out another way to recover the thing. So if I do get one back in one piece, we can... if I get one back in one piece, we can frickin' bring it back to the pad. Raise the gear up more. We talked about doing that, but I don't know. See, Lol Dog, we talked about doing that, but this gear is set to the height for the erector. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Maybe. I can't get this thing. I can't get underneath this thing for the recovery vehicle. I'd say bind the body flap to INK with a cal and have an action group to toggle the cal. Yeah, probably something like that. Okay. Let's go in here. Let me go back in here. What was our altitude? We reached an apogee of 6.3 kilometers. This is a partial success. Vehicle reached AP of notes. Body flaps were damaged during rough landing due to too much drag on the vehicle. Okay. Personally, when I build craft like this, I don't try to make drag, I just try to get lots of lifting surfaces and then use high angle of attack to better control energy bleed. Yeah, I know. Yes. When I said I try to make it fly like the actual lifting body, it was in response to that exact question, dude. Yeah, I know. But I don't want to make the entire thing out of wings because that's not realistic. I want the thing to sink. Like, exactly like what it's doing, but not with that much drag coming off the back of this thing. Won't make a difference, nuclear. Alright. Should we recover this? It's damaged and I can't, it has parts that I can't replace, so... I'm gonna recover this. We're gonna recover 3 and we'll, bring it back to the hangar. Why not just use the flags? We could. If we launch it from the top of the VAB, we could save like 4 Delta V. And if we launched it from not on top of the VAB, we'd save ourselves a lot of time and headaches. Alright. Well, that thing, the plate survived, so I'm gonna keep that pad in that configuration. I think we're good on that front. I think we need to go in here and mess with this a little bit. The lifting bodies still touch down very fast because they have relatively low drag and high stall speed since no wings, correct. Drag. No, they make a lot of drag, dude. The bracket is still out there. Thanks, Toma. Yeah. Alright, let's go in here. And I'm gonna take this stuff off. The bracket is still on the crane. I'll probably just drop the bracket off for now. Okay. So we need to add a fuel drain, huh? That's what we want here. Let's go up here. And then we need to go in and mess with the gear strut symmetry for sure. We're gonna give 3 a flight, a marker for the test flight that it flew. This will not affect pretty much anything at all. One test flight. There we go. All right, let's get in there, mess with the gear struts. I wish ground effect was modeled in KSP. Yeah, me too, man. So this iterative testing is quite good. We're learning a lot every test. I'm really, really psyched on this. This is pretty good. Fuel dumps. Already got it. And I put them where the hydrolox vent, or the hydrogen vents would be on the real one. Well, it wouldn't have hydrolox vents, but the renders showed it having hydrolox vents, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, Loopy, got it. Yes, I will get another hop in tonight. Alright, so, back here. Let's redesign it. What's the current thing? I have that sucker. Let's go open up the debug information. Let's see if the debug info will tell us anything. .25, 0.78, 1.56, but that thing's still making 6.25. That right there is no good. If I'm looking at this right, because the other part of this that was making drag is that. What's the fairing say for its 5.68, 1270? Yeah. Okay. These were making similar drag on the YP and YN axis here, so that means that thing is going to cause a lot of drag. That we confirm that with our flight. Do you have open nodes on the back of the 2.5 tanks on the sides of the vehicle? Let me take a look. Let me get a nose cone out, Loopy, and we'll see. Yeah, it's an open node. If you attach those panels to the fuel tank, that'll kill a lot of the drag. It ain't that simple, my guy. That absolute snap for this panel is... control surfaces now. Yeah, okay, so there's a reason why they do this, Zen. No, it's not too long. It's exactly where it needs to be. Yeah, Demo, I don't think that's gonna do what you think it's gonna do, my dude. How's the pad holding up? Pad held up fine. I blew the heat shields off, Jackery, but we didn't. The service bays actually worked that time, which is interesting. They actually did what I wanted them to do. Go figure. So it's intact. The pad's good for another flight, which is nice. Did you play Banana? I just looked up the M2F2 and it had a maximum lift to drag at 3.13. What was ours, S? It was like, ours was 2.5, I think. Let me go check the landing. WJ, what does it mean? Yeah. We need to lower the drag. I think my lift is fine, S. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I think it's okay. We just need to reduce that drag. I need to get that number down, and we can do that. That's not going to be too difficult. Banana. Oh, but your bananas. How are we gonna do this? We could use flags if we really wanted to. Note attaching them to the fuel tanks takes a lot of... Loopy, is that because of the 2.5 attachment nodes? Banana. It doesn't look bad this way, Barkwell. I'm not gonna lie. It looks alright. It doesn't look the worst. Banana. This is giving us the same numbers, though. Those wings look janky. They don't look right. What's wrong with them, Barry? I mean, dude, I'll be honest with you. I pulled it right from the real one. Like, here, take a look, man. The X, you gotta remember, dude, the X33 is... This thing right here is... basically one of those things. It's one of those things masquerading as one of these things. It's an external tank that's masquerading as a space shuttle. That's what it is. So, in that regard, dude, yeah, the freaking... Yeah, it looks weird, dude. It looks like a big flying Dorito. Could you... Oh, wait. I missed the banana. Hold on. Banana. Okay, anyway, could you move the body flaps to the top like the M2F2? It has a speed brake up there, man. Last. Okay. Did you see this? Yes. Yeah, I saw that I saw that. We covered that for Space News on Prod. Pretty awesome. Did you see your wing idea? No. Could you keep the old back section, then just make the wings like the other planes and have the top and bottom made out of flag wings to make more lift? I don't want to make more lift, guys. We're making plenty. We need to drag. You guys are getting confused. Drag is what we need to get rid of. This is what I said, like, right when I saw it flying. Everyone's like, no, just make more lift. No. 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 We have to mitigate the drag a little bit. Swap the panels for girders. No, that's... Alright. Loop here. Here's what we'll do. Let's see what they're doing. Okie dokie. I'm literally gonna get this truck and I'm gonna put a Kerbal in this truck and we're gonna drive it down the runway. Alright, Loopy, well, let's see. We can send this thing down the runway, and we'll see what it does. You know? Let's see. Too many parts for a runway test. Oh, yeah. Well, we could do it up the crawler way. It's fine. We're not going that fast, dead crew. Alright, let's go take a look. Would a horizontal takeoff program help reduce development cost? Asking as a curiosity. No, I want the launch data as horizontal. I want to be able to launch it because I want to understand how the vehicle launches and how that all works for the most part, dude. The reason I want to do that is so I get the data for ascent and the landing data at the same time. A little bit more complicated, killing two birds with one stone, though. The horizontal testing teaches me nothing as to how the vehicle is going to fly when it does that. In my mind, that's as stupid as saying, well, let's figure out how Starship's going to fly by giving it landing gear and sending it down a runway. It's a rocket, dude. I need to test it like a rocket. Test as you fly. Did Buran horizontal test? Yeah. Let's go for a little spin here. It's already done, Ren. How'd you curl out a rocket sled? I mean... No, yes, I haven't. The idea is to do higher and higher altitude tests. Second test flight? Well, I have to mess with this here real quick. Let's get some speed and let's go down the pipe here. Let's see what it does. Yeah, Loopy, it helped. It helped. It's generating a little bit. Huh.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Ren, 5 subs. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. It's designed for down mass, yes, Master. Yep. That's part of the reason why I made it out of panels, to keep the center of mass forward. Well, Loopy, the ratio that it's generating drag. I mean, you saw it when we were flying it. This was generating about twice as much, and now it's generating about the same. So we definitely changed something. But I would like to see if we can get this up to speed to some degree. Permits, Nutbuster, you don't hit the permits button. The moderators hit the permits button, dude. Then they permit you. You have to like ask them to post the link, dude. Yeah, Loopy. No, I'm with you on this one.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Norcha, 50-month resub, dude. Thank you. This hasn't actually changed very much. Yeah, I redesigned the mounts just a little bit, Ghost. The reason why I didn't want to replace this with flags is because I didn't want to upset my already center of mass, dry center of mass that I took a long time to configure to get correctly. Taking this would move this, taking these panels away and replacing them with flags would screw up the balance of the vehicle. And this thing seems to be pretty dang touchy. You taking off tomorrow? Why would I be doing that? The day off, that it. Yeah, Loopy, I think that fixed it. I think we're good. I'm serious. I think we're alright. Should we put the old version out on a truck and do an apples to apples test? Yeah. I mean, look, the ACD is much closer between these things this time, and the drag is very similar. Ark, I got serial number 3 back. I had to bring it back into the hangar to refurbish it a little bit, but yeah, it looks alright. I was just driving it up and down the runway to get some aerodynamic testing figured out, but area coefficient of drag, Woodbite. How will you fix the panel drag in the back? Well, Loopy had the good idea of attaching them to the tanks instead of to the fairing. And then if you know to attach it to the tanks, Kerbal thinks that the tanks are in front of it, which they are. But it's still a flat panel, so it'll still generate some drag, but it won't generate more. It won't generate as much as it was. Now, I could do an apples-to-apples test and take prototype 8 and throw it down the runway and see what these numbers say, see if they're different. Or we could fly it. Yeah, Loop. Let's give it a shot. I already have the bracket down there. I don't know how I'm going to reinstall the bracket on the vehicle, though. That could be... Rapid prototyping. Yeah. I'm gonna... Yeah, okay. Where are you? Oh, gosh. The X-33 looks so cool from this angle. From this angle, I think the thing looks sick. It looks a little weird from the front. It looks like a squirrel that has like storing acorns in its mouth. But, hi. From the back, though, it's like, yeah, what up? This is 3.1. Will the crane be used for the final design? For the big one, probably not. Why is it open top payload? Because I didn't feel like putting a payload bay up there during the testing regime, to be honest with you. A payload bay up here won't affect test results too much. I'm serious about that. If anything, it'll knock a couple of things into alignment. You mostly see the thing from the back, so it's all good. Right. Right. It's just a transporter, Bill. Yeah, we'll go higher this time, Kyron. Yeah. Commence the jiggling. I just like jiggling. Commence the jiggling. No, I'm still alive. I'm just real depressed.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Sniper! 13-month resub. Thank you. Second flight, Karama. Yeah, Loopy, we should be able to mitigate the drag enough to get it down to where I want it to be. With this, should be able to. And yeah, I think we'll be all right. The first one went fine, Chroma. All I did was damage the body flap, so I did have to recover 3, but I put a hash mark on it to show that it's been recovered. And now we're moving the crane into position to be able to grab that thing and bring it back up. Never skip forehead, Daytoa.